In today's battle, the relentless blades of Khorne, driven by bloodlust and fury, face off against the unstoppable Orruk Warclans, fueled by their primal desire for war. It's a clash of rage and savagery where skulls will be claimed and bones will break. Who will stand victorious in this epic contest of brutality? Welcome to the Realm Wars Network. The Blades of Khorne are still searching for the best way to be successful in the current state of the game. Here, Khorne will aim to use a unit of Skull Reapers as the main hammer. They are surrounded by screens of Blood Reavers and the claws of carnage. A unit of Blood Warriors has faith in their hard armor to delay some of the savages that are bound to come their way, while a unit of Wrathmongers will buff nearby units with extra attacks. Towering above the mortal followers of the Blood God is a Bloodthirster, who in this setup can be one of the fastest units in the game that also packs quite a punch. He will aim to hunt monstrous boars in this game. 2 priests will pray for extra rend for their followers. As a special twist, Brand and his Regiment of Renown is in the army to add additional flexibility. The Ironjawz put a lot of their own faith into the Brutes, who are arguably the hardest hitting unit in the game. Not only do they have high quality of attacks, but also several ways to give them more attacks by the Megaboss. Fighting Brutes in a straight-up battle is never a good idea for any opponent. With the slower moving infantry making up 1/2 of the list, the other one is completed by a stampede of boars, a tusk boss, a Moor Grunter, and a unit of Gore Grunters will make a mess of whoever they get to charge. This is all supported by a single War Chanter and a Shaman for additional buffs. The battle plan for this game is Starfall. In this plan, only one objective is available for the first 2 turns. The location of the objective along the central line will be determined by a dice roll. In the 3rd battle round, 2 more objectives will fall from the sky within each player's territory. This unpredictability of the location of the objectives will force the players to be very responsive with their units. The Ironjawz finish to deploy first and give the first turn away. The first objective comes down after deployment on the far right flank of the field, exactly the side where both armies have only a few units. The battle tactic is to take the flanks. Both priests pray and save their prayer points. The Slaughter Priest sacrifices 3 Reavers to gain the first Blood Tithe point. The Wizard of the Oath-Sworn Kin summons the Gravetide. The War Chanter uses magical intervention to store a single prayer point. The Moor Gouger uses mighty destroyers to move a bit closer to the right flank. The Claws of carnage forgot to use their pre-game move, but do it now. In the movement phase, Singri Brand, the lone marauder on horse from the Regiment of Renown, captures the objective. The Claws of carnage complete the battle tactic by moving up the left flank. Gunner Brand follows them towards the left. The rest of the forces of Chaos move up the center, with Reavers up front and the Skull Reapers behind them. The Wrathmongers stay in the middle, while the sturdy Blood Warriors are on their left. The Bloodthirster and the Oathkin move towards the right. The left Brutes use redeploy to move 4 inches forward. With no combats this turn, the Blades of Khorne score 10 points. The battle tactic is do not waver to fight with 2 units and not lose a unit. In the hero phase, the Shaman casts Basham Lads on the left Brutes to give them additional hits on critical rolls. Then he attempts to summon a Kronspine but fails. The mega-boss uses Get Stuck In, Lads to give the brutes an additional attack. The buffed unit then uses Mighty Destroyers to move forward. The Oathkin summon the Purple Sun. The War Chanter prays for the Killer Beat for extra damage on the brutes. In the movement phase, the brutes continue their advance down the field. The Maw Gouger, other brutes and heroes run down the center. The Tusk Boss forms the second line of attack, while the Gore Gruntas threaten the left flank. The Blood Reavers then spend a Blood Tithe point to stop the brutes from charging. In the charge phase, the Grunters charge Gunner Brand. In the fight phase, the brutes pile into the Reavers and manage to get 2 models into combat range of the Blood Warriors. The Warriors take 9 damage and the Reavers get wiped out. The Warriors deal 3 damage with their murder rolls. Gunner Brand deals 2 damage to the Grunters but dies in return. The Warriors deal 4 more damage in combat. The Ironjawz complete their tactic and score only 4 points as the objective is out of range this turn for them. The Blades of Khorne win the initiative roll and take the turn themselves, as Ironjawz usually benefit immensely from getting a double in turn 2. The battle tactic is to claim their land on the top right mountain. The Slaughter Priest uses Blood Sacrifice for an additional Blood Tithe point. He then prays for Blood Boil on the right Brutes unit. The Ritualist prays for Unholy Flames on the Skull Reapers, giving them an extra point of Rend. The Oathkin summon the Maelstrom. The left brutes use Mighty Destroyers to draw the Khorne army's centre into combat. In the movement phase, the claws of Carnage move around the Grunters. The Purple Sun aims to clog up the centre, while the Grave Tide blocks out the objective. The Bloodthirster flies up to claim the right terrain and uses Murderlust to move 6 inches further thanks to his artifact. In the charge phase, the Bloodthirsters takes on the Maw Gouger. The Purple Sun charges the brutes. The right brutes countercharge into the Grave Tide. The claws of Carnage charge the Grunters. In the combat phase, the Skull Reapers activate first, pile into the brutes, and kill them exactly to the wound, thanks to the extra attack from the nearby Wrathmongers, who are also in the same combat. The Maw Gouger is currently at 1 momentum point to determine his extra damage and deals 8 damage to the Greater Demon. The Grave Tide deals 2 damage to the brutes. The Gore Gruntas deals 7 damage to the claws of Carnage, leaving the champion alive who deals no damage back. The Bloodthirster takes down the Maw Gouger. The brutes take out the Grave Tide. With their countercharge, the brutes manage to retain the control of the terrain and deny the battle tactic. Khorne scores 6 victory points for the objective control this turn. The battle tactic is to seize the center. The shaman fails to summon the Khorne spine but miscasts. The shaman then casts Basham lads on the right brutes, who then use mighty destroyers to move. The war chanter stores 3 prayer points. The megaboss fails to buff the brutes with an extra attack. The oathkin try to summon the shackles but are unbound. In the movement phase, the tusk boss and the brutes move up the field to deal with the skull reapers. The skull reapers redeploy 4 inches towards the tusk boss and then use murderlust to deny the charge and to get into the support heroes. In the charge phase, the brutes connect with the skull reapers and wrathmongers. The megaboss charges in as well. In the combat phase, the brutes take revenge for their brothers and deal a casual 48 damage to the skull reapers. The purple sun deals no damage. The gore grunters take down the claw champion. The wrathmongers deal 7 damage and the ritualist deals 5. The megaboss deals 5 damage to the purple sun. The Ironjawz complete their battle tactic and score 4 points. The Blades of Khorne win the priority role and take the turn. As it is the 3rd turn, the 2 additional objectives are deployed. A roll determines that both of these objectives come down on the far left flank for a very wide triangle of objective setup. The battle tactic for this turn is do not waver. The Slaughter Priest gains another blood tithe point. Both priests roll low for their chanting rolls and can't pray successfully. The Oathkin summon the Grave Tide. The Blood Warriors rally a single model back. The brutes engage the Blood Warriors with mighty destroyers. The war chanter then prays for an extra damage for the brutes. In the movement phase, the bloodthirster flies back towards the action. The slaughter priest, the ritualist, and the wrathmongers retreat and take 3 mortal wounds each from doing so. The bloodthirster uses murder lust. The tusk boss redeploys 5 inches. The blood warriors have a difficult choice to retreat to claim the objective, but then likely get countercharged, or stay and fight for the battle tactic. They choose to stand and fight. In the shooting phase, the bloodthirster whips his lash at the war chanter but deals no damage. In the charge phase, the greater demon has to re-roll his charge to make contact with the tusk boss. In combat, the bloodthirster deals 12 damage and fails to take down the big pig. The brutes activate next, but deal only 4 damage to the warriors. The purple sun piles into the shaman and kills him. The tusk boss piles on the objective and deals 5 damage to the demon. The warriors take down 1 brute. The megaboss deals 3 to the purple sun and the shaman piles into the marauder but deals no damage. The Blades of Khorne do not lose a unit, complete their battle tactic and score 7 points. The battle tactic is to claim the cunning approach where the Gore Grunters have to kill the Blood Warriors. In the hero phase, the Shaman fails to banish the Purple Sun. The Megaboss hands out his damage buff to the Brutes. The Gore Grunters use Mighty Destroyer. In the movement phase, the Gore Grunters move a bit further to the terrain. The only charge we see is the small pigs into the Blood Warriors. The Tusk Boss opens the combat phase and kills the Bloodthirster, who only had 3 health left. The Blood Warriors deal no damage. The Brutes soften them up by killing half of the unit, and the Gore Grunters finish them off. One Brute dies to the murder rolls. The Purple Sun attacks the Shaman for 1 damage. The Megaboss takes out the Manifestation. The Marauder and the Shaman deal 1 damage to each other. The Ironjawz score the full 10 points this turn for controlling both left flank objectives and completing their battle tactic. The Ironjawz win the initiative roll into turn 4 and could take a devastating double turn here. But as they are trailing on points already and would give up 4 additional points for the battle tactic if they take the double turn, it would put them too far behind in the score. Therefore the Orcs give the turn away to Khorne. The battle tactic for Khorne is the Ordained Charge. The Ritualist prays for extra rend on the Wrathmongers. The Slaughter Priest fails to pray for anything. He then attempts to use blood sacrifice on himself in the hope to kill himself for 2 extra blood tithe points, but he fails to stab himself successfully and remains alive. The Oathkin summon the Shackles in an attempt to generate another blood tithe point by killing the Shaman with it, but the Shaman takes only 2 wounds and stays alive. The Megaboss takes no damage. The Tusk Boss rallies 3 health back. The Brutes use Mighty Destroyers. In the movement phase, Singri Brand retreats towards the top. The Wrathmongers move on the lower objective. The Manifestations move towards the center. The Ritualist desecrates the blue Realm Gate for an hit roll buff nearby. Khorne uses 8 blood tithe points for the Slaughter Triumphant to bring back the Bloodthirster. The Tusk Boss redeploys 2 inches. He is just out of range from the Megaboss, who would have guaranteed a 4-inch redeploy with his heroic trait. In the charge phase, the Gravetide charges the Shaman, the Wrathmongers into the small pigs, and the Greater Demon into the Greater Pig. The Brutes countercharge, but roll only a 6 and can't make it to the Wrathmongers, so they go for the Maelstrom instead. In the combat phase, the Bloodthirster kills the Tusk Boss. The Gore Grunters deals 6 damage. The Gravetide kills the Shaman. The Megaboss and Brutes take out the other Manifestations. The Wrathmongers take out 1 small pig. The Blades of Khorne control the field and score 10 points. At this point, the rest of turn 4 could be talked out as the Orcs did not see much that they could do. They can score 1 objective and a battle tactic for 7 points, but they do not see any way to contest with the returned Bloodthirster for a full battle round, as the Greater Demon can take out the last units that the Ironjawz have left on the field and deny them to score enough points to turn the game around. The Blades of Khorne are victorious. The objective placement in this game was crucial, as the Khorne army could not compete with the combat prowess of the Orcs in a straight-up fight. So, getting the Orcs to spread out was the only way for Khorne to have a chance of success here. The Regiment of Renown helped a lot with the lucky but constant summoning of manifestations to occupy the Ironjawz, and the Bloodthirster takes the MVP award for hunting down both of the big pigs. On the Ironjawz side, the brutes dealt with basically anything that was thrown at them. We hope you enjoyed this report on the Realm Wars Network.